Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Soul-Centered CEO Show. I'm so excited for you to join us this week, and I'm so excited to have Caterina with us today. I love our time together. And just for you guys that are just tuning in, Caterina is the creator of the Shiro Summit and the Expand Your Fempire. She has dedicated her life to helping women build thriving businesses through speaking, events, both virtual and in real life, along with a focus on philanthropy and giving, which is so perfect because I really feel like you are the embodiment of what, when I talk about becoming a soul-centered CEO, I really feel like that is exactly what you are. And I'm so excited to have you with us today. So welcome.
Thank you, Haley. You know, I love you and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Now, we met at this event that was really focused around, giving and philanthropy. And you've really created an entire business and life around helping others kind of step into their, I guess, power, if you will,
Yeah.
and presence and
Mhm.
purpose, and specifically around creating these virtual and in-person events and retreats, teaching women how to use their voice and
Right.
share their story through speaking. Do you want to share with us a little bit about how did you get here? Like, how did you create
Yeah.
all of this? And what
Well,
maybe challenges did you have to overcome to get to where you are right now?
sure. You know, I want every woman on the planet to know that she has massive value to bring and to know that she matters.
Mm, beautiful.
And I think, Haley, maybe because when I was a kid, like I felt, and like a lot of people, I felt like I didn't fit in. And I felt like, there was more putting me down than lifting me up by teachers. And and I didn't like that. And of course, it wasn't until I got older that I realized, hey, I'm okay, I'm okay, right? And and even as an adult woman, I think a lot of women walk around feeling like they're not okay, or they don't have massive value to bring, or why would anyone listen to me? I was just on a call with a lady that's doing amazing things, and she's like, well, other people are talking about this stuff too. I want every woman to know that her voice matters,
Mm, beautiful.
and that she can absolutely not only express her voice, but that she can build a thriving business that is of service with her voice and with her mastery.
Yeah.
Because we all have an area of mastery. And you know what, Haley, you're so good at this. If I can just say something, like, women don't often realize that a part of the huge value they bring is our heart skills, our kindness, our graciousness, making everyone feel welcome and included and cared for and loved. Fell in love with you, my friend, the moment I met you, because your big heart is so prevalent
Mm,
when someone meets you. And that is a business skill,
yeah.
is being heart-centered, being loving. And that's all part of the service that I want all the women to know, that it's okay to be that way. And that can even help you thrive more.
Yeah, that's so lovely. And thank you for that reflection. That's so sweet. I think what's beautiful is that, and that's what I feel like part of my mission is to redefine and introduce a new paradigm for how business can be done, honestly. Like
Right,
what
right.
success can look like and how aligned and how authentic you can be and feel. And
Yes,
how much that can resonate on a level that you would never have even thought possible, and I
right.
feel like that's part of what we're creating with this soul-centered CEO movement, is allowing people to give themselves permission to drop into their heart center and to really lead from that place and to just
Mhm.
love people and also support each other in a way that, like
Mhm.
you said, you didn't have when you were growing up. And a lot of people don't feel seen and known and supported.
Right.
And so those have always been my core values from my own personal life,
Right.
and for as an extension of that into my business. And so I love that you said that, because that means that that it's being reflected in my work and in my life, and that's really important to me. So that's beautiful. I love it.
And that speaks to the authenticity that I want all women to feel like you get to be yourself.
Right.
Okay. Who you are is awesome and amazing. And you get to be yourself. And not only do I want them to recognize their heart in their business, I want to invite everybody to amplify their
Yeah.
heart in their business.
Okay, I'm
And
just making notes here because that's so
okay,
good.
okay,
Amplify your heart.
amplify, and also know that your heart is part of why people choose to work with you.
Right.
If you are sharing your authentic heart,
Yeah.
and that we don't have to do it the way it used to be done. We
Right.
don't have to do it the way other people are doing it. We don't have to do it the way we think we're supposed to do it.
Mm,
We get to be ourselves, do our thing, serve our people. And when we're doing it right, Haley, as you know, we're also massively monetizing our mastery.
absolutely.
Okay. And that money is important because then it allows us to give back. It
Exactly.
allows us to uplift.
Right.
And as you know, with women, what do women do with their money?
Yeah.
They invest in their children. They invest in the health care of their children.
Community
And
too.
we know, even in communities where there's just a little revenue, new revenue by the ladies, we
Yeah.
know that domestic violence goes down,
Right.
that children stay in school longer,
Mhm.
and that the mortality rate improves for new births.
Yeah.
So this is significant just when there's a little cottage industry
Right.
in the village. And it's the same thing in our communities nationwide, that when women have revenue, now they're freed up. They don't have to stress about their bills. They
Yeah.
choose to invest in their families and communities
Exactly.
and the world. And that's what we want.
That's exactly what we want. And that I love that you just shared that, because that truly to me is the vision that we have for this soul centered CEO movement. It's more of us with these big hearts and big visions and the desire to make an impact and leave a legacy. We need to make more money so that we can give more. There's more good work in the world that we
Right.
can do, the more money that we,
Right.
and that to me is
Right.
so important. And especially now, 2020 has been a year, right? It's been a year
Mhm.
for a lot of growth and expansion, but also a lot
Mhm.
of sadness and suffering. And so for those, I always think about this idea that for those that have been given so much, much is required, right?
Yeah.
Like we
Much is required, much is requested. Yeah,
need it.
absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
we're going to need the ability to give more. And so I just love that you are so kind of infused in that concept and that philosophy. And I love that you've dedicated your life really to helping other women amplify their heart and their service and their voice. And what a blessing
Thank
that
you.
is to the world. That's a blessing to the world.
Thank you. And I want to say, if I can, a little bit about helping people figure out how to give. Can I say a second
Of
about
course.
that, Haley? Okay. So we just raised $6,000 over the weekend at our Shiro Summit for the Power of Love, which is a group that does microloans in Africa. And I shared with my community at that time, and I want to share now, that we have a criteria for any organization that we're going to give money to. Now, everybody has to create their own criteria.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to share a few of my super tips. One is that I want to support an organization that has nobody in the US that is getting a salary.
Right.
Okay. So no executive money, no executives, not a top heavy organization.
Yeah.
We do want organizations where there's people on the ground in the country that's being of service, that in that country there's a few people on the payroll who are local people
Right.
who are being employed by
Yeah.
the organization. So that's what we do with the Power of Love. They have teachers there that are getting a little salary.
Yep.
And then that's the first one. No US salaries,
Mhm.
and really no executive salaries.
No.
And then the other one is that we want to have a personal relationship with the organization.
Mm.
That means that they give us a report directly to
Mhm.
to my company or the organization, so that you don't feel like you're, that you can say, hey, this money is going to go for this, and you know that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Of course, they also have a track record. But the other thing, Haley, is we want to support organizations that are too small for the
Mhm.
big foundations.
Sure.
And this is where your impact, and I want to say one more thing. People say, well, Caterina, why don't you support, I'm in California. Why don't you support the local, this, that, or the other thing? And let's be very clear. There's need everywhere.
Right.
Okay. There is not a community on the planet. Well, maybe there's a few, but most of the communities on the planet, there is need everywhere.
Mhm.
And I want my community, and everyone has to decide for themselves where their dollar is going to go far.
Right.
And don't think that the ladies in Zambia are not our sisters, okay? Because they are our sisters,
Yep.
and we support deaf women in Nepal, and the need is greater around the world, but the money will go farther. But the first thing I want to be very clear is, everybody wants to create a criteria for giving, because the thing is, the more you give, the more people ask you to give. And
Right.
so you have to be able to say, thank you, that doesn't meet our criteria, okay? Because it's hard to say no, because there is need everywhere.
Right. You're so right. And I think that's very important. And that's why for us, in this community and collective that we're creating, we've been very, very diligent and very specific about who we choose to partner with, because
Beautiful.
I agree. I feel like, first of all, full transparency is very
Right.
important. Very,
Mm-hmm.
and also a very, very minimal administrative load, right? So
Right.
like, if I give you $1, I want like almost all that dollar to go to
Right.
background work, and
Right.
not 90 cents of it to your administrative.
Right. Right.
So I agree, and I feel like those are some very key and important points. So thank you for sharing that. I think because I do think most people want to do and give and make a contribution, but there's a lot of confusion and a lot of
Mhm.
distrust in that whole area. So I think it's really powerful to share just your tips on what you've done
Right.
specifically in your business to help make an impact and stay in alignment and in your truth about what feels right for you. So
Right. And I want to be very clear. Nobody has to, if you want to, you have to pick something that pulls on your heart.
right,
Okay. And this entrepreneurship and education, my mom's a retired school teacher.
mhm,
Women education and entrepreneurship is what pulls on my heart. It's where
right,
I want to put my giving dollars. If
right,
someone has a parent or a friend who's suffered a disease, that
mm,
may be where you, or cancer, or building wells, or there's no shortage of good causes.
yeah,
We do want to find one that we do feel a personal
right,
calling to make a difference in,
right.
and hopefully that is aligned with the mission of our business.
Right. I completely agree. And I just think it's beautiful to have a higher vision, right? So like, we want to make more so that way, I mean, sure, luxury and buying things and all of that is an element in expansion of your business.
Hmm. Hmm.
But to me, I've always needed like a vision beyond the vision. Like, where is it
Right.
going, to really get
Right.
excited about creating it and making it. So,
Right.
for those of you that are listening, if you don't already have something that you're passionate about and that you're aligned with, we are actually coming together as a collective, and we'll be bringing our money together and being able to give more, um, as is as opposed to just here and there, and that's what I used to
Hmm.
do, like just give here and there and a little bit. But I feel like when we come together as a community too, we can make an even greater
Hmm.
connection. So
Hmm.
wonderful, I love it. And so you have, just to transition for a second in our last
Yeah,
few,
my friend.
um you have been doing some really beautiful and extraordinary in-person live events, And I had the privilege and the blessing of having you come to one of mine, which was
Yeah.
so lovely.
Mhm.
Hopefully we'll be able to sparkle in Italy again at
Mm.
some point. And I know you've had to transition, right? A lot of your business back
Yeah.
in virtual things. Do you have any other comments or thoughts or advice for people maybe that are in that same place that have had to really transition and shift? And what would you suggest that for them they might keep in mind as they make that transition?
Yeah, well, I would say that, we do retreats on cruise ships, and I
Mhm.
had to cancel my luxury retreat to Alaska, and we had a speaker mastermind cruise where we teach ladies how to use speaking to grow their business. We had to cancel that. We have another one where we teach them how to do retreats. We had to cancel that. And we're still keeping our party moving. And the other thing that happened, Haley, when the shutdown happened, I had a lot of ladies, rightfully so, they were stressed out about, oh no, how am I going to pay my bills? Blah, blah, blah. And so, and they asked me for, hey, Caterina, is it okay if I don't pay my bill this month? And I had a lot of those requests. I'm
No.
sure they all thought they were the only one, but I
Right.
had a lot of them. And fortunately, our business is doing fine and we were able to be a yes for our clients, and everybody's caught up now. What I want to tell you, Haley, is I told everyone to immediately start embracing Zoom and every month offer a virtual something once or twice, a virtual workshop or information session or Q&A session, or even a product showcase for the
Right.
ladies in product businesses, and to cultivate clients and community that way. And it
Right.
has worked extremely well because you build insta influence
Right.
when you do that. And it's very important to always have something to invite people to. And
Right.
so that's what I did. It's worked very well. My clients have all done it. It's worked very well. And some people say, oh, well, what I do doesn't really translate to Zoom. Well, that's a limiting belief alert, limiting belief alert. Okay, I've got image consultants that are having ladies take their computer into their closet to show the lady something,
Yeah.
personal training sessions. Of course, I take my yoga class online. I prefer than having to go to the place.
Yeah.
Whatever we do, it is convertible. And then, well, maybe people say, well, I'm not so techno savvy. They don't care if you're techno savvy or not, because you don't have to be perfect. Perfection is not required.
Right.
Okay. And that we do want people to start to do what they can
Right.
online. And if they, let's say they, maybe they are an interior designer, you can talk about that online. You can give tips online. Sure, you can't do on the ground fixing someone's house, but they can work with you virtually. And
Right.
it's so important for people to not give up
Yeah.
or step out and to step into the virtual world.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that because, obviously for both you and I, our magic is normally in real life, like heart
Yes.
to heart, belly to belly. Like
Yes.
I want to be with you and hug you and like
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
you and create that relationship in the depth. But what I will say is that I think now more than ever, we still need the depth of connection, and we're just
Yes.
creating it in a different way. And
Right.
really what we're building to is, not only our 3-day event that's coming up in November, the 11th, 12th, and 13th, which is,
Yay.
I know it's so exciting. It's called The Gathering. I would love, obviously, for you to be there. And for
Love to, I'm planning on it, my friend.
we'll get you the links and make sure that you have the details. It's a free event. And we're calling it The Gathering because, again, I feel like it's really important that we still come together. We come together even if it's not in real life. We are together, and it's where $1 million businesses are born. And so the focus of those 3 days is really about this whole idea of expanding your business model, making millions, so that way together we can give millions, because when we make more we can give more. And so
Absolutely.
that's going to be super exciting. And also just the idea that community is so important. And even if it's not in real life right now, it will be at some point.
Right.
you have the depth of connection and the
Mhm.
collaboration and the partnerships and the magic that really happens when people that are like-minded and big-hearted come together for a common purpose. So
Mhm.
so thankful for your time today, Caterina. It's always a pleasure and a blessing to be with you, and just appreciate your wisdom. And like I said, I wrote notes, all these things that I really think are so important for us all to remember during this time.
Thank you. And my friend, we're talking about giving, and I want to remind everybody that yes, it feels great to give. The whole thing about giving is that we're uplifting lives
Right.
and we're impacting lives and we're changing lives. That little $6,000, and I shouldn't say little because it's a big amount that we raised, that's going to buy about 170 to 200 loans for
Wow.
women to start businesses, you know,
Amazing.
and
Yeah.
and those women that start businesses, they're going to employ more women in the community,
Right.
which means there's going to be a whole community of women that their kids are going to stay in school longer,
Mm.
that they're going to feel empowered. And one other thing I got to say about giving, my friend, is that when we give to our brothers and sisters around the world, like when we support the deaf women in Nepal,
Mhm.
these ladies have been told their whole life they don't matter, that they're nothing because they have a disability.
Yep.
And when we give $50, $25, it's not just about the money. It's like, hey, those people in the United States, they want to help you. They know that you matter. They want to support you in your life.
Mm.
And that's what giving does. It lets people that don't think they matter, it
Right.
lets them know that they matter. And that's what I want for everyone. And I know you do too, Haley. And
Right.
that's why I hope everyone in business is embracing giving, because it makes a huge difference.
It really does. It really does. And I think that's a beautiful point to just reiterate and close out this special conversation of just like, we want more people to matter. We
To
want,
know and to know they matter, but we want them to know in their heart and in their soul
yeah,
that they matter.
yeah, that's right. I love you. You're the
I
best.
love you more.
Thank you so
And
much.
I want us, my friend, I know you said maybe somewhere else next time, but I had such a great time on our retreat in Italy. It was so awesome and amazing. So my vote is another retreat in Italy. Okay. Don't go anywhere else.
It's coming.
Let's do Italy. That's
Coming.
my vote. Okay.
I love it. I love that so much. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Katerina, thank you again for being with us.
Anytime.
Hope that you will join us for the gathering November 11, 12, 13, and join our Soul Centered CEO community because it's a beautiful, obviously, beautiful community of incredible humans doing amazing things. So thank you, and have a beautiful day.